And anybody over the age of 40 who goes and gets an MRI of their back or their neck, it is going to show something.
How about specialists or experts? Are they important, and how do they affect the value of the case?
Oh, yeah. No, they're definitely important, especially for more complex injuries that take a little bit longer. And they're especially great for clients who may have had some kind of pre-existing issue, which to be fair is just about anybody over the age of 40 at this point. A lot of the injuries we see are neck and back, are back injuries. And anybody over the age of 40 who goes and gets an MRI of their back or their neck, it is going to show something. You are everybody, even if you've had zero back pain in your life, it's going to show something. And the insurance companies love to point that out and love to say that it was there before and they didn't really cause it. When the truth is that they are on the hook, not because they caused it, but because there was something there in this person that they aggravated. And now this person has symptoms that they didn't have before. And experts are really great at explaining that kind of technical stuff to a jury in a way that they understand.
Yeah, and as lawyers, we don't really know enough about the medicine part of it to
No,
really separate the two.
no,
Yeah, so getting an expert involved then is important. And like you said, not only the knowledge of the expert to separate the two, but the way in which they communicate it so that a jury can digest that information is really important as well.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and then how about the attorney that's trying the case and the law firm that manages the case? How important is that?
Oh, 100. It's very important. So first of all, what I think a lot of people would find surprising is a lot of personal injury attorneys don't have a ton of trial experience. So that's the first thing. A lot of attorneys will settle the bulk of their cases and will farm out other cases for suit. So the first thing, you don't know if your case is going to end up in litigation. So if you pick an attorney to manage the trial, my recommendation is always to go with an attorney or a firm that has actual trial experience, because you want the same, because sometimes those two things aren't necessarily the same. You can have an attorney who knows how to manage the case, get it settled, get it resolved, and that's the majority of cases. But for those 5% that have to be filed, you need a trial attorney, which is a different skill set. It's one an attorney can have along with being able to properly manage a case, but you have to know how to present evidence in trial. You have to know the rules of discovery. You have to know what information you need to build a case at the trial level. Because it's not, I hate to say it, but sometimes it's not just about what's true, it's also about what can be proven. So you want to feel confident that your attorney strategically knows how to prove what you know to be true.
Yeah, and that's a good point because the rules of evidence don't allow some information in that maybe the client wants to say or maybe one of the client's witnesses want to say. And the trial attorney needs to understand what evidence is likely going to come in and what evidence is not likely going to come in so that they can develop a case plan around that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then the last thing on just the value of your claim, how does the policy limits affect that?
So, for reference, policy limits is the amount of insurance that someone has. In Washington state, the minimum is 25,000, which means I think the majority of people, if you just pull the average person off the street, they've got $25,000 of insurance coverage. So what unfortunately sometimes happens is our client will have a case that's worth more than 25,000, but the person who hits them only has 25,000. So unfortunately, no matter what we can prove, the insurance company is only ever going to, most of the time, only going to pay the $25,000, which is why it's also very important to pay attention to your own insurance policy. So on your own insurance, there's something called underinsured or uninsured motorist coverage. It's an extra element of insurance that you can get. It covers you if the person who hit you doesn't have enough. Let's say your case is worth 50. and they have 25 and you've got 25 and underinsured motorist coverage, they'll kick in the extra 25. Or God forbid you get hit by somebody who just doesn't have insurance at all. Your own insurance steps in to cover you. And what's good about that element of insurance is that if you have to use it, at least in the state of Washington, the insurance company can't raise your rates because you've had to utilize it.
Yeah, there's actually a revised Code of Washington RCW that addresses that. So it's actually statutorily not allowed for the insurance company to raise your rates if it wasn't your fault. Mm-hmm. People don't know that, and they have a hard time believing that as well.